fans, please welcome the 19th president of the University of Toledo, Dr. James Holloway.
Good morning, Rockets. TOL. This is a day of tremendous excitement. I could not be more excited than I am right now to introduce our new head football coach. You know, this has been just a whirlwind of a week or so since Jason Candle said that he was going to have to leave us. And we went out and said, okay, who can we find who's going to bring the Rockets to the next level? The next level of competition success, the next level of academic success, the next level of success in developing young men into their future selves. And I think we found that guy. And so in this process, I got to interview Mike Jacobs in person. I spent about 90 minutes with him. I had a private lunch with him. We talked a lot. And, you know, within about the first 5 minutes, he had said the most important things to me. Because I asked him, you know, why do you like coaching? What makes coaching interesting to you? And what he described was the same process that I use as a teacher. He described the importance of developing young people. He described the importance of developing their character, developing their intellect, developing their physical selves. And he talked about the ways to do that. And I'm just thinking to myself, this man's a teacher. And that's what I really wanted to see in a head coach. Yes, we absolutely want a head coach who knows football, who can be successful on the field, but we also want a head coach who can help our young men on the team be successful, who can inspire Rockets across this university to be successful, who can enliven and energize and engage our community to come here and participate with us in amazing athletic competitions. And again, I think we found that guy in Mike Jacobs. And so at the end of that interview, I walked out of the room, and Brian was there to talk to me a little bit, and I said, Brian, does he know football? And Brian said, oh yeah, he knows football. Now I knew he knew football, but I wanted to hear Brian say that. And I said, hire him, because he was so clearly the right guy for the University of Toledo. So I'm really excited to have Mike Jacobs join us as our head football coach. I'm excited to have his family join us and look forward to a new era of Rocket football. Thank you.
Rocket fans, please welcome Vice President and Director of Athletics, Brian Blair.
Good morning, how we doing? I hope you guys are well rested, because I certainly am not, but excited for the day nonetheless. Wanted to start off first, I want to thank Coach Candle. Coach Candle has been here a really long time, 10 years as our head football coach, all-time winningest coach in Toledo football history. We celebrate him for that, and that's on every slide or graphic that you see, but what I got to see over the last 3.5 years is not only a winning football coach, but somebody that cares about young people really, really deeply. I've worked with a number of coaches across my time and certainly know the industry, and I would put nobody above Jason in his ability to connect with our young people and care for them for the right reasons. And so it means a lot to me, and I wish he, Nicole, and their family absolutely the best of luck. Jay, I hope you're watching this. You're forever a Rocket. I appreciate you. I want to thank our Board of Trustees, and I know we may have some in the audience. You know, you work some places around the country, your phone starts blowing up with Board of Trustees members texting you, and usually they're saying, hey, hire this person, look at this person, here's what you need to do, I want to be involved, da-da-da. That was nowhere to be found with our Board of Trustees. Every one of them was, you got this, we support you, we believe in what you're doing, you can get this right, good luck, let me know how I can help. That says so much about our alignment as an institution. When you've got board members ready to rally and be the wind at your back to say, hey, you got this, let's figure it out, we'll figure this out together. I want to thank Dr. Holloway. In 5 or 6 short months, What I've got to know is, number one, he asks the best questions of anybody I've ever been around. It keeps me on my toes absolutely every single time because I can never guess what he's about to ask me. But he also has this uncanny ability to always bring it back to the student-athlete experience. He never asked me really about wins and losses or competition, and we'll go into our one-on-ones, and I'm talking about generating revenue and thinking outside the box and doing all these things. He said, well, what does that mean for the student-athlete? What does that mean for the student-athlete experience? When a young man goes down the field, he texts me multiple times to understand, are they okay? Do they need a hotel room? What can we do to enhance their experience to make sure they're safe? In today's college athletics, with so much going on, that's a rare attribute. And so I really appreciate Dr. Holloway, his ability to keep this department and university grounded on what matters most, and that is our student athletes. I want to thank our internal team, Nicole Harris, I almost said Alderson, Connor Whalen, our two deputy ADs were by my side. I thank your family members as well. I know when that call rang, I took over your life. And every ounce of effort I was pouring into it, you were right next to me running that same pace. And really to our entire department. They, in short order, pulled all this together today and said, hey, let's go do this. And nobody complains. Nobody says that's not my job or that's somebody else's work. They all just get to work and make amazing things happen. Same with our spirit and our band. Never saying, hey, it's cold outside. I don't want to be there at the airport when your new coach arrives or anything like that. They show up, they smile, they're engaged, and they're ready to represent this institution. I appreciate all of you. I want to, absolutely. I want to thank our current football staff and coaches. I know this has been a whirlwind. I know none of you asked to be in this predicament, and the moment you find out your head coach, your leader is going, the immediate question, right, is what does this mean for me? What does this mean for my family, my kids' school systems alike? I want to especially thank Coach Rob Weiner. Rob, I appreciate you stepping up, the energy and positivity you bring. You were the perfect man for this moment, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you, Rob. Lastly, I want to thank our student athletes, this 2025 football team. When we sat in that room, my days are mixed up now, I apologize, but whatever that day was, Coach Candle met with you and informed you of that news, and certainly I had to follow that with, hey, here's a clear plan, and here's what we're trying to do. I mean, those are hard moments, right? I talk to a lot of groups, I talk to a lot of stakeholders. This is undoubtedly the most pressure-packed group you talk in front of, because I realize this is your experience. This is your university, this is your team. You will always be Toledo Rockets and Toledo Rockets student athletes. And so it means something different for you than it does anybody else here. You're the ones going through it on a regular basis. And so I appreciate you, one, trusting us with this responsibility. Two, the energy and excitement and everything I've seen at practice as you engage with each other. That's not easy, but you keep showing up. You keep showing up with great effort. And I know you're gonna represent this university well on our bowl trip down to Boca. So thank you. So why are we here today, right? You say, well, how do you find yourself in this situation? Well, I'll tell you, right? Toledo football is really, really good. Toledo football is really, really good. And so when you're really, really good at something, a lot of people notice and they say, hey, I want those people to be a part of my organization to also make us really, really good. And so you end up and people say, well, how'd you move so quickly? Like, what were you looking for, the like? And so I'll start off and tell you a couple things we weren't looking for, right? We weren't looking for a Maumee, Ohio native. We weren't looking for somebody who played offensive line for that school down in Columbus. We weren't looking for somebody whose dad coached at the University of Toledo. We weren't looking for a 24-year coaching veteran. We weren't looking for a multi-time coach of the year with an 80% winning percentage in the games he's coached. We weren't looking for someone who's won 7 conference championships in 10 years as a head coach. But guess what? He has every one of those attributes. So what were we? Absolutely. So what were we looking for? You say, well, if you weren't looking for all those things and you ended up here, what were you looking for, right? I mean, number one, we were looking for somebody that embraces all that Toledo is, somebody that embraces our student athletes, right? I asked a handful of the guys to give me factors or ideas on what they want to see their next head coach. Every one of them talked about somebody that cares about us as people, not just as football student athletes. That matters. I want somebody that embraces this community. This community is our superpower. Nobody else in our league has anything close to the community support that we have at the University of Toledo. And when we leverage that support together, Team Toledo come together and pull in one direction, we are flat out unstoppable. That's our superpower, that's our separator from everybody else in the league. We need to continue to dive into that. We need a coach and a family that's willing to and excited to engage in that community process. And then lastly, we wanted somebody that embraces the legacy and expectations of Toledo football. We have a long history of success here. And you go back decades and decades where there's undefeated seasons, where there's Saban, where there's Pinkel, College Football Hall of Famers, Coach Campbell, Matt Campbell, the like. There's a lot of people that have been in those hallways. A lot of people have sat in that head coach's office and had a lot of success. We got a lot of NFL talent. We got a lot of future NFL talent that's come through this program. We're going to make sure we keep that going. So in Mike Jacobs, I believe we found all that and more. Let's take a look at how we got here today. So I mentioned this the other day when I was talking to Dave Briggs. I do a lot of research on candidates, and I'm watching videos in the morning as I get ready. I'm on the treadmill, and I'm watching Mike's press conference in Mercer. And then I caught myself halfway through the workout crying myself because of the emotion he poured into it. So I'm excited for you to hear from him today. We had a plan when we started this. We absolutely worked that plan, and we got our #1 pick. So let me introduce you to the 28th head coach of the University of Toledo, Coach Mike Jacobs.
Thank you for that. Good morning. TOL. TOL. One last time, a little bit louder. TOL. Listen, I am bet the over on me crying today, all right? So it is the most humbling experience in my life to stand before you as the 28th head football coach at Toledo University. And I understand the responsibility and the gravity of this position. I think I uniquely have that being somebody that was from here. And again, he mentioned I'm an Ohio State guy, and as I thought about kind of how I want to start this, and there was something that kind of just kept coming up to me. There was a group of guys that had a band when I was in college. It was called OAR. They were all students at Ohio State, but they have a song that says, "I feel home." All right, and I'll just read you the second verse. I'm not going to sing it because I can't carry a tune. But it says, "To me, it's so damn easy to see that true people are the people at home. Well, I've been away, but now I'm back today, and there ain't no place I'd rather go. I feel home." All right, and I'm Ohio born. I'm Maumee made. Fort Miami Elementary School, Gateway Middle School, right? Maumee High School. My first job was cutting the tee boxes at South Toledo Golf Club. I worked at Monette's Market on Glendale. I mean, literally, it is my entire livelihood. To carry that over, right, the team doctor, Dr. Cruz, was my pediatrician when I was a young child. So, the connections are almost absurd. But there's so many people that I need to thank for having this opportunity to be home and to lead this unbelievable institution, and more importantly, this national program that I have so much respect for. I'd first like to thank Dr. Holloway. I believe I'm your first head coaching candidate, right? And as he mentioned, we got to have lunch, and I was a little bit. I usually don't get nervous at stuff, but he is a nuclear engineer, and my degree was in sport and leisure studies. I was really good at the leisure studies, but not so good at the other. So I wasn't sure what the conversation was going to be like. But as he mentioned, it's solely centered around people, and they're going to be the consistent and the common denominator in all this. And it's what you do for them and how you do it, and then the response that they give you. And we really hit it off, and I'm appreciative that he's taking a chance on me, and we're going to pay it back tenfold. So thank you, Dr. Holloway. Vice President of Athletics, Brian Blair. Right? I can't thank him enough, and again, same deal. I understand the gravity of this. Like, we're all tied to something, and Brian's had a tremendous career, and he's made a bunch of good hires, but I believe I'm his first football hire. And so that means something, because he had to get it right. And again, I owe a tremendous amount to him, and I look forward to paying it back, but I thank Brian Blair. The rest of the search committee, Deputy Athletic Director Nicole Harris, Deputy AD Connor Whalen, and a number of the team that was a part of it. But those folks really dove into it. I can tell you they were highly organized in what they were doing. They were in alignment of what they were looking for and what they felt was best for the football team here and the university and the community here in Toledo. And I can't thank them enough. Again, as Brian mentioned, the time away and the time on task they spend doing this and away from their families is tremendous, because you have to get it right. And I thank those people quite a bit. I'd also like to take a minute. Jason Candle did a tremendous job here. I think it's imperative that we recognize and honor the work that he put in. There's been a ton of football coaches that have come through here, and Jason's the all-time winningest coach, and he's done it with integrity, he's done it with respect, he's done it with, frankly, a consistency and a level of winning that I have massive shoes to fill. But more importantly, he's poured into you guys in the middle section here, and those will be the biggest shoes for us to fill, is how we're able to repay it to you and how we're able to interact and get you to where you want to go in life. But Jason has left this program in an incredible spot, and I think it's really important to recognize all that he's given to the University of Toledo. So I appreciate Jason. As far as my family goes, everybody's got a why. They're unequivocally my why. It starts with my beautiful wife, Lacey. I appreciate you. I love you. She's the rock star in this family. My 9-year-old son, Luke, he's a 3rd grader, right? And he's kind of into all the sports, depending on the season. My youngest son, Knox, he's 6 years old. There he is, right there. Okay. He got a little Mike Leach in him. I told the guys this morning, he got a little Mike Leach in him. He is fascinated and enthralled with pirates and monster trucks, and it's a sign. I told the guys that we pulled into the hotel last night, and they're advertising for Monster Jam, so he's fired up, and he's ready to make that trip here in March. But it's also really special that I'm home, that my mother's able to be here. My mom, Judy, worked for Lucas County for 30-plus years, just recently retired, and, again, people hear a lot about it because my dad was a football coach, but my mom was a single mom. And so I grew up with many experiences the same way you guys did. My folks split up about halfway through my dad's time as a coach at West Virginia, and we moved back here to Maumee so we could be with family. And, kind of classic, spent the school year here with my mom and the summers with my dad, but I certainly wouldn't be here without my mother. I mentioned my father. He passed away. Tremendous influence on my life, certainly as a person, as a man, but also as a football coach. As I mentioned, right, like I talked about being Ohio born. I was born in Mansfield in May of 1979, and my dad had just accepted the offensive line job here at Toledo under Chuck Stobart's staff. So my dad actually was a position coach here on the 1979 season. He went on to have a long career at West Virginia and Ohio State, but you know, it's really special to be somewhere that he's been, and I'm proud to represent our family here. My brother Cody couldn't be here today. He's a cinematographer out in Los Angeles, so he makes movies and TV shows and music videos, all that kind of stuff. He's got a pretty cool job, but he couldn't make the trip. And you know, again, that's our core. I have a number of friends and extended family today. Some of my best friends are here. This may be the first press conference that's ever been tailgated at. So I appreciate everybody that's here. And man, it's so good to see everybody. And I can't wait to reconnect with all our friends. You know, there's some other personal thank yous for me with my dad passing. There's another college football coach who's really a mentor to me. Bill Legg is a gentleman. He's on the staff at Minnesota now, but you know, he mentored me as a student athlete, and then he mentored me as a coach, and he continues to serve in a father figure role to me, and I really appreciate Billy. You know, a guy, you need somebody, you need people that you can bounce ideas off of that are in the business and understand the ins and outs of it, so I'm really appreciative. Professionally, as I mentioned, I really need to take a minute and thank these folks. Scott Swain's the current athletic director at Point Park in Pittsburgh. He's the former athletic director at Notre Dame College in Cleveland, Ohio. And you know, in May of 2016, the current head coach had stepped down at the time to take a job at Savannah State, and he came over to the office. And I don't know if it's because I was the only one that was there that day or what, but I got named the head coach at Notre Dame College. And so we had taken a team that had never had a winning record, and we went 42-8. But Scott gave me a start. And as Brian mentioned, when they're looking for head coaches now, the experience is more invaluable than anything. And to get the first, it was super important. So I'm forever indebted for Scott for that. Athletic Director Kim Pate, Dr. Fred Witt, the president, Lenore Ryan. We had a tremendous experience in our time in Hickory, North Carolina. It's very uncommon where, you know, I ate lunch with the president twice a week. We had a little bit of a lunch bunch, and all he wanted to talk about was sports, and I was trying to figure out how to get more scholarships. But Fred was really good to me, and Kim's a brilliant leader who's at the University of Indy now, and she does a great job. The folks at Mercer, President Bill Underwood, Vice President-elect Penny Elkins, and then Athletic Director Jim Cole. Again, similarly, people that took a chance on me. I'd had a ton of success at the Division II level. It doesn't always translate, but he gave me an opportunity to coach Division I ball at the FCS level, and we're able to have a ton of success. And I'm really appreciative for the folks at Mercer. They're a big part of the reason I'm standing here. Other folks professionally, John Luckhart's a gentleman I work for at Cal PA. John really taught me how to organize and be efficient with what we do. He taught me a lot about people and how to manage. John's a Hall of Famer. He's done a great job. You know, Joe Tiller's a guy I worked for. Joe Tiller, again, the Toledo connections. A lot of folks he represents out west, but Joe Tiller's a Toledo Rogers graduate, and the 3 years I spent under him as a graduate assistant, I learned a ton of football. I learned a ton about player evaluation and how to treat people. Joe was the best in the business that way. I'd like to thank every assistant coach. I've been really blessed I've had a ton of staff consistency in my 10 seasons as a head coach, and every one of those gentlemen and their family, their wives and their children, they've given up a ton, and really their ability to teach young men, to lead young men in conjunction with our vision is the reason I'm able to stand before you today. So I'm grateful for all those men. And then I can't go anywhere. We wouldn't be anywhere without the players, right? Again, it's the common theme of the people. The players at Notre Dame College, when that school didn't have anything. We didn't have any resources. And so to believe in that and to turn that thing into a winner, the folks at Lenore Ryan, the guys that kind of grinded through COVID and, kind of an abnormal 4-year span, a college experience, the guys at Mercer who trusted us, very similar situation to this. A lot of times when you change jobs, it's because something's broken or it needs fixed, and that's not the case here. We're trying to go from good to great and to push it over the edge, and that's really the plan. But the players at Mercer were a big part of that, and that was a really tough group for me to leave. They've given a lot to my family. They're my boys' big brothers. I told the players that this morning, and I'm forever indebted to those kids and what they did and how they bought in so quickly. And I think it's even more impressive when they did it in the transfer portal day and age because they had options. Before you just had to gut it out, and Guys can choose to do anything they want. They chose to stay, and they became champions twice and did something that had never been done in the history of the school. That was win their first conference championship and then actually go back-to-back. So I appreciate all my Mercer Bears down there and really the whole community of Macon. You know, what is the vision for Toledo? It's really plain and simple. They're lofty, and we have high expectations from an on-the-field standpoint. And I shared this with the team this morning. The very first thing is it's always going to be about your education. The University of Toledo degree carries a ton of weight, and you need to get a degree in whatever time frame that is. But getting degrees, it's about championships and championship rings, and then it's about taking it and elevating it to the next level and making certain that this is the best group of 6 team and program in the country and that we're in that college football playoff. And so, you know, it may seem close or far off, depending on what your perspective is, but that is where we are headed, and that is the destination. And it's just a matter of the level of buy-in from not only the players, but the community, the campus, the city of Toledo, as to how quickly we will be able to get to where we are going. And we will get there, all right? How will we do it? It'll be people first. We're going to pour into these young guys. We're going to get to know them. We're going to make sure that their college experience is transformative in the sense that it's the best 4 seasons and the best 4 years of their lives, that they constantly reference it and go back to it for the moments of teaching that they learned in that time. We'll do it through connection, all right? I eliminated a lot of the things I hated as a player, right? So like Friday night meetings before games when really the hay's in the barn and it's 9 p.m. and, you know, we're going through a meeting. We don't really do that anymore. You guys will get to know us. We have family game night. We put our phones away for an hour and a half. We play Connect 4, spades, and we hang out and we connect and we enjoy one another because the connectivity and the common bond will lead us much further than one more 15-minute tip sheet, and I strongly believe in that. So there'll be some things that'll change, but it'll be for the betterment, and really it's about the whole person, and I hope that you guys get to see some of that stuff, and more importantly, not just see it, but feel it. And you know, we'll continue to pour into them in a number of different ways, both physically, with their mental health, and with their academic success, and those are all areas that we want them to succeed in, all right? Well, I think it's really important that you approach every day. You're going to hear me talk about demeanor a lot. Well, demeanor to me is it's how you carry yourself, it's how you present yourself, and then it's the way in with which you work. And so when we show up, the program will have a demeanor about it. That's when we come to work into the building. That's when we go and we play on the field. When we walk on the field or we take the field in the Glass Bowl, there will be a demeanor about this program that talks about and folks will understand what we will be about before we even get there. And that's really important to me. We'll do it with an urgency. All right? Again, no one, in today's day and age, things can get turned quickly. And that is the plan. And again, there's nothing to turn. It's about pushing it further. It's about fine-tuning and moving the needle farther than it's ever been at the University of Toledo. That is the goal. That is the destination. But we will do it with an urgency. We'll do it with an intensity to our work ethic, a focus to our preparation. All right? It'll be about our daily habits, okay? Too many times, football teams wane. Lots of people are good. It's really easy to get excited early in the year. It's really easy to get excited for big games, but can you do it when it's not the most exciting, when the conditions are challenging? Can you do it? The most ready team wins, and I'll say that all the time. It's not always the best team, the most ready team wins, and the team with the appropriate demeanor, the team with the proper intensity and mental focus, and frankly, emotional maturity is the team that wins 9 times out of 10, and that is how your Rockets will play. There'll be a physicality and a violence about what we do. I'm not afraid to use those terms. Sometimes folks get scared of that. You must move people. You must block. You must run. You must tackle. I really, you know, other than the players, the keys to our success have really been because we've had an overwhelming commitment to the basics. A lot of people talk about it, and then you go watch practice, and they only give position coaches 10, 12 minutes to work on the skill development. That won't happen. That's the offensive lineman nature in me. You're going to have a minimum of 25 to 30 minutes of individual skill development because that's the only way you get better at the basics. And the people who are best at the basics are the ones that win championships. It's as simple as that. And we're going to continue to harp on that. We'll work on it, and we'll do it with an urgency and intensity that will let folks know that we intend to be champions and intend to go to the college football playoff. Okay, we talked about the whole person development, mental and physical and emotional, and then, again, it's just about meeting the players and the people where they're at and helping them get to where they want to go. And the biggest thing that I can do for them and the biggest challenge our staff will have is building the trust, understanding that the relationship is built on trust, and then making sure I hold you accountable to what you say your goals and dreams are. And sometimes that's a hug, sometimes that's a kick in the ass, but whatever it is, it's to get you to where you want to go. And as long as we have that mutual understanding, we will all get there together, all right? And I firmly believe in that. And then lastly today, before we open it up for some questions, part of being, the cherry on top of all this is that I'm the hometown kid, and it means a lot. But it really is about Toledo, right? The Glass City. It's about the engagement of this community. It's about how we give back. There's a number of ways. You will see us in the community. You will see us at carpool drop-off lines or at the Children's Hospital. You will see us engage in a way that makes the university and the alumni proud. You will see my family out and about. We'll be at as many sporting events as we can get to. We enjoy going and supporting other Rockets in whatever that endeavor is. We'll be out to support the band and what they do. It is a whole commitment from not just me, from my staff, from my family, and we'll do it in a way that folks have no doubt that the city of Toledo and the University of Toledo have our best interests at heart. Again, it really is a surreal moment for me. I'm humbled, I am honored, I am grateful to be your head football coach, and you will have everything that I can give you to make certain that we all reach the goals that we all want. Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, thanks everybody. Coach, we're now gonna let our friends in the media ask a few questions. Media members, we're gonna pass the mic around, so just hold up your hand if you've got a question, and we'll go from there. Who's going first? Justin?
Hey there, Coach. Justin Feldkamp with BCSN here in Toledo. Welcome, congratulations. Curious, you are through and through a Toledo guy, a Maumee guy, but in interviewing with either of the gentlemen on either side, did you know or did you not know anything about Toledo that you now know through the interview process?
No, I mean, I try to do a bunch of homework before I go into those things. I think you got to have a baseline knowledge about certainly where the football program's at, but where the institution's at, and it's very clear that Dr. Holloway has a path to where he wants this program to go, and there's nothing new that surfaced, but I think it's really just, it reaffirmed the commitment and all the things I thought growing up and watching from afar over the years of the direction of this university.
Hey, Mike, Dave Briggs, Toledo Blade. You've had a lot of opportunities to move on to some really good G5 jobs. What was it about Toledo that was kind of the one that maybe you've had your eyes on and this is the right fit?
My wife will tell you I overanalyze things, but listen, we had a really good job at Mercer, and I'm not somebody that job jumps a bunch. I'm very diligent about, first of all, we're fortunate. I've been able to choose jobs. A lot of times that doesn't happen in the coaching world. You just go where they'll take you. But we've been able to choose, and for us, really the very most important factor is the alignment and the synergy from the president through the athletic department to the support services for the student athletes, and then a history and a tradition. And Toledo offers all of those things at an extremely high level.
Hey, Coach. Welcome to Glass City. My name is Emma with the Toledo Blade as well. Just deep Ohio roots for you, deep Northwest Ohio roots for you. Just talk about what impressed you the most about the University of Toledo's culture in their football program.
I think the biggest thing is, I mean, all you have to do is look at the number of men who, as you look around the landscape of college football right now, there's a lot of kids choosing not to play for whatever reason. I'm not here to judge anybody. But really, almost to a man, this team has stayed committed. They're clearly a brotherhood, and I think just the fact that they're as driven as they are to get the 9th win, to do it against a P4 program, and I think that has been one of the most impressive things that, you know, it's a big reason for my attraction. You ask why Toledo? It's because this is a great program, and it's storied, and it's in a really good spot that we're just hoping to enhance.
How you doing, Coach? Yao Bonsu, BCSN. How bad do you want to beat Bowling Green?
I didn't even think we were supposed to say their name. Listen, I mean, you got to understand, man, right? My dad was at West Virginia for 15 years, so I grew up with the backyard brawl between West Virginia and Pitt. Obviously, I played in the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, so I'm keenly aware of the importance that's needed and the emphasis that it takes, because I do. Some coaches try to act like big games or big rivalry games are nothing and treat them as a normal week. I don't think you can do that, because I think there's a different energy about it. I think there's a different emotion when it comes to the game, and I think that has to come out, and you have to understand the history and what goes into that. So I'm excited.
Hi, Mike. Chase Bachman, WTOL 11. You and I were talking yesterday about the emotion of this job. Did you have to explain to your wife, your kids, about what this area is, what it's like, and what it means to you?
No, we you know, I'll be honest. We had not been home since we got south, right? we had not been home in a few years, and honestly, we spent about 5 days here in Maumee and Toledo this summer, just visiting my mom and some friends, and you know, we did the quintessential Toledo tourist checklist. I mean, the zoo, Imagination Station, Penguin Palace in Maumee for ice cream, and so they know what this place is like. They know how special it is, and again, for us, listen, I also have crossed off every Christmas gift I owe my mother from now until the end of the eternity, because I brought her grandbabies home. So that moment is huge for us, and we're just excited to be back. It's surreal is the best way I can describe it.
Hey, Mike, Jordan Strack. This might be too niche, but for us Maumee guys, I think we'll understand it. How would you compare yourself maybe to Hal LaFontaine, who was your high school coach?
For the Maumee folks, 2 laps, right? So he used to say he started every gym class with 2 laps, and Hal didn't get off his desk, and he was a one-on-one, but Hal was good to us, and he certainly had the intensity, but a great man. I enjoyed playing for him, and we had a lot of fun in high school.
Hey, Mike, Kyle Rowland. Just curious, growing up here, what are your memories of Toledo football and just kind of what it meant to the community?
Sure. Well, I mean, I just remember how ingrained it was. I remember people showed up, right? Like some states, they'd only talk about Ohio State, or they'll only talk about, you know, kind of the bigger institution, if you will, but the community and the fact that it always shows up, that it's at the forefront of what the university was doing, truly the doorstep or the front porch. And, you know, I remember it being a big part of it. I remember coming here to basketball games, right, when some of those big, you know, and I know St. John's is still real good, but some of those big basketball games in the day, and I just remember it being a big part of the community and a part of what people do and where they gather.
Okay, thank you, everybody, and thank you, everyone, for coming out today and welcoming our new head coach, Mike Jacobs. Media, we will be have an opportunity for you to meet further with Coach Jacobs and a few players over in the Venture Courtside Club right after we're done here. So appreciate everyone joining us today, and we look forward to having you in the Glass Bowl next fall. Go Rockets!